was Elvis Presley's first record producer, was quoted to say before he discovered Elvis that if he could find a white face to sing black songs, he'd make millions of dollars. He was right. All of these white boys have the same similar story, you know. They're fascinated, they start to practice, and once they practice, they get on in a way that is unprecedented for black artists. These next couple of poems are true stories. The first about Eminem, the second about Vanilla Ice. This is an epigraph from Dr. Dre, who said, "I thought he would be able to get away with saying a lot more than I would. The cash register in Dr. Dre's head goes blank. Jimmy Ive pressed play in his Beverly Hills garage, and the tornado sirens moaned in the trees. Light bulbs exploded into hand-clapped Casio synths, fuck you, pay me mantras, twisting knobs in front of the soundboard. Dre flew the kid on the tape from Detroit to LA 2 days later. This is the fox of history smiling in the chicken coop, the Nile rushing north, cows butchering the butcher, wade in the water on Yo MTV Raps. It's opposite day, the faint hum of reparations massaged out warm hands in the field. It struck him clear as lightning. Now he is no Ben Franklin, but this is just what the doctor ordered." Thank you. Vanilla Ice's real name is Robert Van Winkle. Sometimes the poems write themselves. Robert Van Winkle has some tough decisions to make. There were 2 deals on the table. Chuck D wanted to sign him. I couldn't believe that shit either. Have the Bomb Squad work production. If there was going to be a rap Elvis, he'd like to get paid. Have a hand in the molding this time. And there was Capitol Records and their $1 million signing bonus. And Robert's foreign 2-seat junker at the mechanic. He'd never seen that much negative space before in the bellies of all those zeros. The mouths of 6 ghosts. Macaulay Culkin, frozen, alone. So, you know, he starts to know that there's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm a millionaire now? I was just hanging out. I was like a working class white kid. Now I'm a millionaire? I won't say anything. But he does have some thoughts. Elvis explains the white do-rag. An appendix. Wisdom teeth. Naughty by nature's Vinrock. What purpose do I serve? Wave cap for a placid ocean. A nap in a haystack. An afro pick for Ricky Schroeder. The Rodney King tape. What use am I? Yarmulke for a traith god. Dunce cap cool, lunch counter soda jerk segregationist, pointless beanie of a Klansman, a 99-cent style rocker, a crown of burden I can always leave behind. So, you know, of course, you all know the story of Elvis, and you've seen, you know, Rolling Stone just named Eminem the king of rap. For real. So that was funny. It did come at an appropriate time for my book, though, and I just want you to know that there is no Jewish media conspiracy, unless they just didn't tell me about it, but perhaps there is, because that was very good timing, so thank you for that, Rolling Stone, if Jews run it, which I imagine. So he starts, you know, so he gets on, basically. right? Like all these dudes do. And you know, certain people have questions about it. This is a found haiku, The Critic Truths. At the photo shoot, the makeup artist spreads base on his foundation. Thank you. You guys good? Yeah. Okay, good. So I think I'm gonna read some more poems. All right, very good. So of course, you know, these white boys come to represent a music, a culture that spreads around the planet. In this time, I mean, Eminem outsells, I think, the Bible or something like that. Close to it. I mean, sells a lot of records. This is an epigraph from Eminem. I remember this one show in Oslo where the crowd went nuts, and I felt like my life was a dream. Elvis sitting on some new Magellans. I put more English in the mouths of non-speakers than a British general. 70,000 fill stadiums and know the words to every song, even if they don't. The government should pay me. I bring Midwest black vernacular like beads and animal skin, trade tokens in the language of marketplace, dialect, glass encased, studyable. I am a linguist presenting my findings in the field of black labor, Alan Lomax anthropologist, liberal apologist, the logic of blackface. Europe gets me because they rumbled through Africa too. Indonesian kids dig me like Coke. This is what neo means. I'm a bazaar of wares, knickknacks decontextualized. I mean, I could hawk wood sculptures from Senegal, even if they were manufactured in maquiladoras. I am perceived as authentic because my bio reads poor. This is the language of the dissed and dispossessed. Vowels drop like school budgets, consonants contract like fine print. I study books like an accountant. I'm clowning. The reason I bleached my hair platinum was to match the other metals I alchemized. I was just fucking around on E-pills, but Dre said I was baby-faced fresh and Africa would recognize I am the American child, freewheeling in the culture candy store. See me, the life I've recreated, merrily into a dream. What? Elvis and Vanilla Ice and Eminem all reportedly tried to kill themselves. This is called Ode to Painkillers. When the head aches too bad, sleep is like some rumor of sleep. Shows, when the wake must go on. How else do I climb down this mountain? Hop out the train of these tiny bottles. I've become accustomed to picking cotton. The first sip of bourbon is enough to know I will cram a week into last call. I will not go home. I will not go home alone at all. I will be chauffeured to friends' homes who house glass tables filled with candy. I have a sweet tooth and a bed of Novocaine. I have a chemist's heart and a license to practice medication. I am sick and too tired to tire. I am Clark Kent, refusing to change out his Superman. National Anthem. I've been so many versions of the minstrel. My lawsuit is at the cleaners. The sample I've been sued for, birth, death, row. I am gangster incarnate, responsible for murder many times over. It is 1994. This seems right. 2 years from now, Pac will be killed. Hip-hop will be hard and unhappy after me. Serious business. I made serious money for serious corporations. There is nothing more gangster than taking over a culture you don't have the language for. Millions make for isolation, fans or dollars. I am sitting in the bathroom. The door is closed. I am alone. I cannot page anyone. Those who would know how I feel are gone. I came back, Rasta and naughty. No one wanted me. I returned fat and sequined, the big ass of every joke. I am a sitcom in syndication, the archetype of a white boy in black face, in black mask, 40 ounces of vodka, hands full of white pills. I am after the Cold War. The bomb was never dropped. I am a glasnost baby. Nas is right. The world is mine. There is no one to fear but my own reflection in the crowd at my shows. A mosh pit of farm hands pulling phantom triggers of rented Uzis. They listen to me in NWA. They will become prison guards. They will never be what they can be. They will never be all they can be. This is the real national anthem. The song of everything stolen, everything confused and borrowed, mixed in the myth of the pure, rotten, original as doublespeak, is Orwell, is the hands behind my back signing these contracts, the masses of stacked records, stacked bodies, unpaid stacked samples, stacks of books I jacked from the Schomburg, get returned to the Library of Congress. The black frat anthem I snatched is now the sizzle of national airwaves. I'm saying this is the truth, the real national anthem, the song of everything stolen. I'm saying there is something terribly wrong here. I was in a spacesuit rocketing to the moon a minute ago. Last week I woke stomach pumped. I'm drowning in a pillowcase of blunt wrappers. The truth is, I love this music. My best friend is black and gone. I am alone and all that. Behind this bathroom door, there are millions on the other side, fans, dollars, and otherwise. I am saluting the flag like it's August of '77. I am on a solo tour with a bottle in hand. Behind this bathroom door, I am cold as ice. I'm going to do one more poem, and I'm going to thank you for your time. The book has a bunch of, it's this narrative arc. It has these other portraits of white boys who aren't as problematic for me, anyway, as the characters that the rap Elvis is kind of based off of. So I'm going to close with a more hopeful portrait. It's about a New Yorker, so I'm excited to be able to read the poem in New York. There was, you're familiar, actually, I'm fascinated by this space that we're in, this, Lower East Side, this downtown Manhattan. Because for me, it was when Uptown came downtown that the world exploded. When the hip-hop community clashed and integrated and, rubbed against the punk community, is when the world kind of caught on fire. It was those relationships between all of these artists who, said, enough of our segregated city, enough of our segregated scene. When Blondie started to hang out with Fab Five Freddy, and there became a whole tour that hip-hop left the specific boroughs that it was in and went to the rest of the planet. It became export to create the largest global youth culture on the planet, to bring people together in a way that we've not been together prior. I certainly never would have left my house if it wasn't for early Run DMC tapes. I never would have said fuck you to my rabbi if it wasn't for KRS-One. All of these things, kind of bring us together, and it was those early moments of the culture that I think are really worth reclaiming those stories, because in part there are these narratives of polyculturalism, of interracial solidarity. There was certainly a bunch of fucked up things happening, namely a ton of drugs, and it was the dawn also of AIDS and crack and the war on drugs. But it was also this time for young people to explore and express themselves. So I'm going to end with this poem. This is, in the middle of the book, there's this 4-portrait piece called Quarters in the Don't Play Arcade. This is the first one. It's called Joe Strummer Points to the Future. Joe Strummer was the lead singer of The Clash. This is a true story, as I heard it. The fans in Philly were unruly. Rude boys in leather imitating British blokes who were imitating disenfranchised Jamaican toasters who wanted recordings of nothing but Motown. These punks pierced in shredded denim wouldn't give Cowboy, Kid Creole, or even Melly Mel the time of day. They had trouble moving this crowd, now throwing bottles and slurs. Grandmaster Flash, a child of the West Indies, stayed queuing records in his headphones. The kind of kid to play with his food. Pigeon peas on his mother's table always found their way into the rice over bacalao. Though he remained skinny, he loved the kitchen, brought turntables there to mash vinyl, whisked beats in the two bowls of his eardrums until the blend was so perfect, origin undetectable. He always thought the sound systems of King Tubby and U-Roy an unfulfilled universe of circuitry. A simple switch he learned to mix at St. Catherine's Vocational High School on 168th Street, a set of skills obsolete in a deindustrialized Bronx in the dawn of computers, flash, cut, wire, fused chords of bass amps, found a light switch could make records talk to each other in tongues in polyrhythm. Joe Strummer was pissed. A child of Turkey, thief of dub, Punk's Woody Guthrie, lead singer of a British band who debuted on America's bicentennial, he grabbed his beer once he heard the riot emerging from backstage, asked Scorpio for the microphone. The band of second wave skins listened to Strummer, a god in a cult of anarchists. He spoke to them of Flash, the wheels of steel industry grinding to a halt. This is the sound of the world changing, he said. Shut the fuck up and listen. Thanks, New York. Thank you so much.
The book is called L-Vis Lives. Copies available for sale right here, right now, at the end of the bar. The film is called Louder Than the Bomb, set to debut on the Oprah Winfrey Network in October. And the author and the filmmaker and the poet is called Kevin Coval. Give him some more. L-Vis. Yeah. Get your autographed copy of the books right here in the room. It's having a good time tonight. Oh yeah! Yeah, but we do this 2 times a week, Thursdays and Tuesdays. Thursdays, as you see, open mic plus feature performers, normally hosted by Jim and I, the poet. Tuesday nights, all open mic, hosted by yours truly, me, Nathan P. Any way you look at it, you can't go wrong. Cool? Cool.